Howdy all, g'day gone. We are already a week into the new year. Let me just start out by saying that is crazy. I am one to always kind of admit that time has just been flying by the last few years. Year after year, I'm already like, what? It's already Christmas. It's already New Year's Eve. Well, here we are on January 7th, about to be January 8th, actually. And I really thought a couple nights ago was New Year's Eve. And here we are. We're already 8 days into January. Doesn't make any sense to me. But anyhow, we are looking at some of the craziest things and interesting news that's already happened down under in Australia in the first week of 2025. Let's take a look. There's already been some records broken and some cute pictures and some other fun news we're going to take a look at. Let's get to it. All right, so starting out, we have cost of living life hack. So cost of living is super high in most places, certainly here in the U.S., and from many posts we've seen last year, certainly high in Australia as well. We have beat the cost of living with this life hack. This is at what looks to be Burger King, but I think is actually Hungry Jack's in Australia, obviously. Now, each little thing adds up, so it doesn't look like much, but it might add up if this is a regular ordeal. So we have your order $24, and this is presumably at a kiosk. They discovered this. So if you order a double Whopper, the cheese double Whopper, so like double Whopper with cheese, right? It comes out to $12.50. But if you order just a double Whopper, and then you add cheese after the fact at 50 cents a piece, it actually comes out to $10.90 plus those, plus that additional $1 and $11.90. So 60 cents. Now, that doesn't sound like life-changing money, but I suppose if this is something you get often, that could add up. At any point, saving even cents in this day and age is something. So I'm all for it. And some other ones, according to the comments, Domino's, if you order a ham and cheese pizza and add pineapple, it is 50 cents cheaper than ordering a Hawaiian pizza. It's actually hilarious. I thought I've heard of stuff like this maybe a long time ago. I never thought of it. I've never really tried this kind of thing where you construct your own version of like a certain food item, like a Hawaiian, for example, but you construct it piece by piece and it ends up being cheaper. That is kind of funny. But some important info if you're a huge cheese fan. It's been 15 years since I worked there, but I'm pretty sure there are 4 slices of cheese on a double. So maybe when you're ordering the slices of cheese, let's see, 2 cheese slices, you're actually still not getting that original double Whopper with cheese. You're getting 2 cheeses versus 4. But I think it would do the trick, honestly. I'm not someone who's obsessed with over-cheesing things, but the real comment is right here. Onwards to house ownership. Only 100,000 double Whoppers to go until you've saved enough for a down payment. Isn't that the truth? Alrighty, next up, someone found their new favorite Australian animal. Their new favorite with a U, so they're a real Aussie. Because I would never spell it like that. Favorite. Just completed an overland track in Tassie. Was hoping to tick off seeing a wombat in the wild. Boy, this is an Australian sentence. It was one of our famous animals I have never seen. We ended up seeing 2 wombats. They're so quirky and cute. They were also much bigger than I expected. We also saw a bunch of what the hell is that? I almost thought it said Padme melons, Pademelons. I feel like an idiot. Let's search what this is. What the hell is this? They're a small marsupial. What? This is something I've probably seen in... I'll put you in this screen. This is something I've probably seen in the various books we've received and maybe videos in the background stuff. I just didn't realize because I know, of course, kangaroos. I know, of course, wallabies. But for some reason, this name doesn't ring a bell. And for some reason, I don't know how to pronounce it either. It's giving me like a stroke. It's got like a way different face, that's for sure. It's kind of like it looks like a really small, kind of more rodent-looking kangaroo, if that makes sense. Or wallaby, like smaller than wallaby, right? Well, I think wallabies and kangaroos look more similar to each other than this guy does, if that makes sense. And look at this cutie. Oh my goodness. These are awesome. Look at it. They are something else, right? A good old wombat. It's been said a million times before by a million people, including a million times by myself. Australian wildlife truly is special, man. It is so interesting, so cute, and frightening at the same time. Let's not forget, they have a lot of cute animals, and they have a lot of frightening versions as well. But yeah, this is cool to see. Great bulldozers. Had one living in my backyard when I lived in the Dandenong Ranges. The mother's pouch faces to the back. At night, when you lit them up with a spotlight, you would see two little eyes looking back at you. That's actually hilarious. It would be very confusing if you didn't know that. If you saw the ass end of one of these and saw eyes, you might have your mind run a little bit with that. All right, we have a question from a Yank, and it's not me. It's someone else. I'm not going to read all this, but basically, you can read it, pause it, and read it. They are, used to live in Australia. They have a friend that brought them or sent them Australian stuff. They found this Vegemite that they, I guess, forgot about, and it's one of the tube ones. Now, I've been very lucky. I've received a lot of Vegemite from viewers, of course. I've seen it in jars, tubes, pretty much every version, I think. So I'm sure I might, I don't know if I have one of these sitting around or not at this point, but I have had one before. And basically their question is it good to eat still after a few years? Because this bad boy expired in 2020. And I would say without even, knowing, right? I would say yes. Like, Vegemite doesn't seem like the type of thing that goes bad. It seems like one of those apocalypse foods. Vegemite is just sticking around. If you have lost all hope and you don't have much to eat and you find some Vegemite and you're scrambling, you're in luck, right? Just eat it. It ain't going to go bad like a lot of foods. Sure enough, when you go to the comments, that tube of Vegemite will probably outlast us all. The plastic will degrade before the contents will. Yeah, there you have it. So in case you didn't know, or in case you have someone that kind of has a question like that, or if you do send Vegemite to some Americans, make sure and let them know. It's a good permanent snack. It has great shelf life. All right, and the next one's kind of a PSA, something to watch out for. I do occasionally throw these in when I see them. So this is more of a serious post, just letting you guys know in case someone in Australia might, this might be relevant to them and maybe they wouldn't see this on Reddit or wherever. So if, just for anyone out there that this might help, I'm going to throw this in. This has to do with stuff I don't know about, but I'll read you what it says. 13 cabs taxi scams. Okay, so make sure and be careful and use vigilance when dealing with this. This is a cross post from Brisbane. So this is apparently in the Brisbane area. Horrific and dangerous experience. I'm going to put this on there so you can pause it and read the whole thing, because I will not do that. So go ahead and read that. So basically, they get in, routine cab ride, nothing weird. They do some small talk, this person and the driver, and it's supposed to be like a 15-minute trip. They have the address and the meter counting, so everything seems normal. But, eventually he goes through like a tunnel exit, which they're unfamiliar with. Maybe they're taking some sort of different way. Then he takes a wrong exit and starts asking what the address is. So they repeat the address to the driver, spell it out slowly. All of a sudden, he doesn't understand what they're saying. So it's getting kind of weird, right? They realize that he is heading the wrong way, like completely the wrong way from where they're supposed to be going. It's been over 20 minutes. The fee is past $50. So everything's adding up, and they should have been done with this already. They ask him to pull to the side of the road. He pulls to the side and demands that I pay. I am saying I'm not paying. This is a scam. I could clearly see what he is trying to do. He tries to shout for other people to come and say that I am scamming him. This is when it gets really bad. I try to get out of the car, but realize it's now locked. Luckily, I can just unlock to get out of the car, and he follows me, and we argue. He demands that I pay, and that if I have an issue, to call 13 cabs to settle the issue, and they will refund me. I refuse. He tries to grab my bag off of me, and I have to grab it back from him. He tries to get in close to my face. Whew. I feel this is just getting worse, so I walk off to try and find the nearest bus stop. He follows me in his car and stops at the bus stop before I get there and waits for me. I ignore him and get on the bus when it arrives. Fortunately, only a couple minutes. That's a relief. I wasn't sure if this was the correct bus, but I just knew I had to get out of there. I get on the bus, and he follows me onto the bus, shouting at me that I need to pay and shouting at the bus driver that I will be kicked off, that I need to be kicked off to pay him. Geez, what a mess this is becoming. Understandably, the bus driver doesn't want any of it, and he tells the taxi driver to either get on or get off. Eventually, the taxi driver gets off after a passenger tells him to get off as he is holding the bus up. I am still a bit frazzled and shaken, and I am not a confrontational guy. I emailed 13 cabs and tried to call them. They actually don't show a customer service number, so you have to call lost property and ask to be redirected. That's always fun, isn't it? I took some photos of the number plate and the driver's name. I couldn't find any photos of the driver to take a photo. I am happy to share them, but not sure if allowed. Also, would appreciate any thoughts on what to do. He now knows my address. That sucks. That sucks. Dealing with something like this when it becomes really sketchy and scammy, and they picked you up from, an address that's sensitive to you, that just sucks, man. That sucks. But definitely be careful. The advice given, call 13 cabs, hit the 3 button a whole bunch of times until it connects you to something. Tell them what happened. Try to extort you, kidnap you. They should put it through to a supervisor. If not, just skip those steps and report it to the police. They will follow up. Most people said they would have just called the police at the, when this was happening. I kind of agree. I mean, if it's getting real sketchy and they're following you around on the buses and shit, yeah, that's pretty serious stuff. I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know much about it. I wouldn't know anything about taxis in Brisbane or any companies, but just a PSA out there for people to be careful. And just a quick photo op showing how beautiful Australia is on a totally different note. Out there in nature, of course, y'all know the Nullarbor in Australia. Just take a look at that. This is a excellent picture. Wow. Yeah, I love how the car or RV, whatever it is, caravan, is there for reference to see how big and grand this cliffside and the water really is. That thing looks like a toy there, right? It's really cool to see. And the different colors going on, the rocks, it's spectacular. Now on to one of the first records, I guess, I would presume anyway, of 2025. For the sensitive, may I alert you, this is about Aussie spiders. Let's just tell like it is, so may have to skip ahead if you don't like that, but here we go. Record-breaking Sydney funnel web spider dubbed Hemsworth, I'm not making this up, to be milked for venom. So I guess we have to click on this, right? So there it is. Hemsworth, step aside Colossus, be gone Hercules. The Australian Reptile Park has recorded its largest male specimen so far. Okay, largest male. Are females bigger or are males bigger? I don't know. Measuring at 9.2 centimeters from foot to foot, Hemsworth, the male funnel web spider, is the largest of its kind recorded by the Australian Reptile Park. And I guess, is that real? That must be him then. I thought maybe they were using like a generic photo of one, but this must be the actual guy in question here. Mr. Hemsworth, hello. Please don't ever be within 100 miles of me, please. First there was Colossus, then Hercules, now Thor. Of course, named for the Australian actor Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor. In case you didn't get that reference. He surpassed his predecessors. Hercules was 7.9 centimeters. Colossus was just under at 7.8. They are all unusually large. A typical male funnel web is between 1 and 5 centimeters. Okay, I didn't know that. So this is pretty damn big. Females are generally larger than their male counterparts, but not as deadly. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that. So they're calmer, not as deadly, but they're much bigger. He was captured, Mr. Hemsworth here, near Newcastle, north of Sydney, and handed into one of the park's spider drop-off centers. I love, isn't that just an Australian thing, right? A spider drop-off center in Australia. It's just a different place. Australia hits different. It really does. Spider drop-off center. I gotta look this up, right? I mean, is this a real thing? Of course it's a real thing. I just mean like for me. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't pull up. Okay, you know what? I'm getting phobia. Woo! It does not pull up any photos of the drop-off center, but I believe it. And it's something I will never be visiting. But yeah, I don't know. I guess this is him as well. They are the only center, or the only park rather, the only facility, let me correct myself 3 times, to milk funnel web spiders. And I believe this is how they create the vials of anti-venom. So I guess it's a good cause, right? Because these are not deadly at all, because I think Australia is so good at producing anti-venom, and if people do have any issues, they can usually get treated pretty successfully. So that's a good thing. So apparently this is in someone's property. May I mention, this property is absolutely gorgeous. It looks like a national park, right? Look at that tree. It's like literally dark red. How cool is that? Does anyone know about that? Is that the video? Like changing the color of that tree, or is it actually that color? What is that? That is beautiful. But to be honest, all of the trees and bushes, just the earth right here, right? Looks incredible. I mean, what a place to live. Australia just blows my mind, dude. And some lyrebirds came to visit them. Look how exotic they look, right? In a candid video like this. See one down there? Oh, I wish the video was longer. Can I please stay in your backyard? I promise. I won't stay more than one day. I just want to like sit out there, have a cup of coffee, and just take in the nature there. It's beautiful. All right, one of the crazy posts already from 2025 from a couple days ago. Someone says, am I turning into a Karen in my old age, or is it a bit crook? I fully expect this to be the work of some tasteless Americans. Hey, but it turns out an Aussie company produces these. Valor Vinyls. Who are we? We're a team of driven, let me show you. Driven by creativity, passion, and deep love for art, founded by Australian Army veteran. Valor Vinyls is not just a brand, it's a journey of self-expression. Okay. It doesn't sound crazy, sus yet. But what's this? What? It's not something I thought I would see. I guess you could say it's not what I thought I'd see on my 2025 bingo card already. Holy smokes. This is very weird. Definitely going to go out a limb here and say this is not Bluey official merch. We've been lucky to, see a bunch of that here in the U.S. And we've seen, been gifted many Bluey stuff from viewers. So I can't thank you enough. And it's awesome. But not like this. This is, wowza. This is way out there. We got the Hilux with the mounted turret and everything in between. Bluey's gone badass for this run here. Love how someone tags Bluey brand protection. Cease and desist in 3, 2, 1. Already removed, I guess, from the website. BBC legal team works quick. Yeah, I guess they would. I would imagine this was not official. Like I said, it was pretty much a joke. Definitely not. And I would imagine they would not be allowed to run this. So this would probably get removed before it could even get off the ground. But I thought I'd throw it in there pretty crazy. And I would imagine that this is either A, trying to be a meme so hard that it's purely for laughs, or B, maybe it was serious and people, I would imagine not go for this. I don't think this would be popular in Australia. Now, I've never seen this, I guess because I use my Milo pretty quick, but the Milo at my grandmother's house has solidified. Yes, I managed to get some out. Yes, it was still within the use-by date. That is solid. It looks like a hockey puck down there, a Milo hockey puck. It's actually kind of cool. Fill it halfway with milk, lid back on, and shake. She'll be right. I love it. That is some solid Aussie advice. That's going to do it for this one. Awesome stuff already coming out of 2025 in Australia. Never change. It's such a cool place and just full of surprises, truly. I hope your 2025 is off to a good start, and hopefully it doesn't feel like it's straight up flying by because, like I said, this first 8 days, I literally feel like New Year's Eve was a couple nights ago. Like, dude, slow down, right? Damn, sometimes time just goes way too fast. But hey, at the end of the day, here's to hoping it's a fun, happy, safe, and prosperous new year for all of us. I really do appreciate you watching. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.